Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to talk about salt. Is salt as bad as we say it is for your heart? It's the thing that cardiologists harp on. We probably should be harping on sugar, and I tend to do that, but salt is very important for your cardiovascular health. And today, I'll go into why. Now, most of us don't think twice about how much we're using, but salt is one of the biggest factors that can shape the health of your heart and your blood vessels. The story isn't as simple as salt is bad though. It depends on how much you eat, where it comes from, and how your body handles it. Salt can be made of a lot of things, but most of the time it means sodium chloride. It's the sodium part that matters the most for your health. Sodium is vital for our cellular function. It's one of the primary minerals that helps control fluid balance, muscle contraction, and nerve signals. The problem is that too much sodium makes your body hold on to too much water. That extra fluid can raise your blood pressure and over time put a strain on your arteries and your heart. High blood pressure is one of the leading causes of stroke and heart failure around the world. But not everyone responds the same way to salt. If you have healthy kidneys and your body's good at getting rid of the extra sodium, a high salt meal might not make much of a difference in your blood pressure. But if you're salt sensitive, older, or already dealing with high blood pressure, then even a little extra salt can push your pressure up and push you over the edge. This is one of the reasons that people often argue about whether salt really matters. Inside your body, sodium does more than just raise the pressure though. It can make the lining of your vessels stiffer, damaging the protective layer called the glycocalyx and reducing nitric oxide, that vital compound which normally helps your vessels stay relaxed. It also stirs up inflammation, which makes blood vessels less healthy. This leads to thickening of the arteries, an enlarged heart, and a higher risk of heart failure and arrhythmias. And here's something about the modern diet. Most of the sodium we get doesn't come from the salt shaker. It comes in the form of processed foods. Things like canned foods, packaged foods, snacks, frozen meals, deli meats, and fast food. These foods are loaded with preservative salts, and those are heavy in sodium. Our ancestors used to get sodium in smaller amounts and from naturally salty foods or unrefined salts that also carried potassium and magnesium to balance things out. Today, the balance is gone. We get mountains of sodium from preservatives and very little of the other minerals that helped counteract it. Well, what about these gourmet salts? Let's talk about those. You've probably seen sea salt, Himalayan pink sea salt, black salt, gray salt, or even exotic ones like the Persian blue salt. They're marketed as healthier alternatives to regular table salt because they claim to have those trace minerals and they look more natural. Well, that's true. They do have a small amount of minerals like magnesium, calcium, potassium, or even iron. But here's the catch. Those amounts are tiny. Even if you switched completely to Himalayan pink salt, you'd only get a few milligrams of those minerals in a whole day. That's nowhere near enough to make any real difference for your health. What's more, some gourmet salts aren't fortified with iodine, which is added to regular table salt to prevent thyroid problems. If you rely only on sea salt or pink salt, you could actually miss out on the iodine unless you're getting it from other foods. And when researchers test those gourmet salts, sometimes they find things you don't want, like heavy metals or even microplastics. While they might look beautiful in a jar and give food a little texture or different taste, they're not necessarily healthier for your heart. And at the end of the day, they're still mostly sodium chloride. The one alternative that really does matter is potassium-enriched salt. These salts replace sodium with potassium, and large studies have shown that they can lower blood pressure, reduce strokes, and even cut the risk of dying from heart disease. Potassium helps your body get rid of sodium, keeps those blood vessels more relaxed, and balances the system in a way sodium alone doesn't. The only people who need to be careful with potassium salts are those with kidney disease or on certain medications. So how much salt should you actually be eating? Studies suggest once you get above about 5 grams of sodium a day, and that's around 12 grams of salt, your risk of stroke and heart problems goes up. Most of us are already eating that much or more, often without realizing it. Bringing intake down closer to 3 grams a day of sodium, or about 7 to 8 grams of salt, seems to be a safer zone for most people. And with people with high blood pressure, may benefit from going even lower. So here's the bottom line. The biggest problem isn't the pinch of salt you sprinkle on your dinner. It's the hidden sodium in processed, packaged, and fast foods. Our modern diet has tilted the balance towards far too much sodium and not enough potassium. Gourmet salts like pink sea salt may taste interesting or even look nice on the counter, but they don't solve the problem. The real health advantage comes from just cutting back on processed foods, choosing fresh ingredients, and balancing sodium with potassium-rich foods like fruits, vegetables, and beans. Salt is not pure poison, but it is powerful in excess. It reshapes your blood vessels, your heart, and even your immune system. The good news is that small changes like swapping processed foods for fresh ones or reaching for potassium-rich foods can tip that balance back towards health and keep your heart strong for years to come. So here's the takeaway. Salt isn't evil, but the way we eat it today, hidden in processed foods, preserved meats, and packaged snacks, has tilted the balance way too far. Whether it's table salt, sea salt, or pink salt, the health effects are almost the same because they're all mostly sodium chloride. The real solution is simple. Cut back on the hidden sodium in the modern diet, bring in more fresh foods, and balance things out with potassium-rich choices like fruits, vegetables, beans, and nuts. If you do that, you're giving your heart and blood vessels a much better chance to stay strong and healthy for the long run. Thanks for watching this. If you found this helpful, hit the like button. If you want to hear more, hit subscribe. And if you think someone can benefit from this, share this video with that friend or family member. I'll see you next time.